Hello all. I'm kind of winging it today. I struggled a lot with the setup again, and I'm pretty sure I've broken my ring light because I was moving it and I heard like a click. So I'm kind of hoping for the best, but it didn't sound good. It was like a very snappy sort of click. So that's unfortunate. Um, there's been a lot of technical difficulties which I'm trying to work around, but um, I'm not very techie. I actually got a 1 in my computer science GCSE. I answered a couple questions and then fell asleep for the rest, but at least I know I got those questions right, so that's good. Um, yeah, picked up bits from that, but not much. I know a bit about RAM, random access memory. I know what it stands for, so there we go. Um, but yeah, it feels slightly unfeminist of me that I didn't do better in it, so sorry to the ladies. I should have put more work in. And now I'm trying to work through the setup thing, and it's not great timing given that I've recently become single, so I don't have unfortunately a male to ask for technical help, which I hate saying, but they are usually the ones who know their stuff. I do have a brother though who really knows his stuff, so unfortunately I do have a lot of um what's it called? Not trepidation. Oh my god, what's it called? Like I don't want to ask him because it feels strange, but like, oh, can you help me with my YouTube stuff? It's just a little hobby of mine. It's just weird. So doing my best and we're working through it. But you know what? I have Google. I have myself. I've got two hands. I've got this. I can set things up. I think it's okay. I might have to buy another one because that snap really didn't sound good. But I'm trying my best. Okay. Um, what did I want to talk about today? I'm trying to think. I'm kind of running through my topics pretty quickly because I do like 3 in every video. Um, but there'll always be more. I know there will because I'm just endlessly thinking of new things to talk about like all the time. And I've always had it saved up in my head as like, oh, I can't wait to have a conversation with somebody about this. I like for somebody to bring this up because I'm thinking about it like all the time. But now I can just talk about it whenever. So I'll just keep on putting things down in my notes app whenever I think of a topic that I is tickling my fancy. Um, I don't like clubbing. I've just seen a poster of me at the club. I don't like clubbing. I mentioned this in another video, and it makes me feel really boring because I always thought I would because at 14 and 15 I was kind of a bit of a nutcase. So I thought I would enjoy the club. When I got older, I was like, yes, I can't wait to go. Like this will be so good. But I'm realizing that house parties are just top tier. Um, Clubbing is really like overwhelming for me, I think. Um, but I think it's less about the club itself and more about everything around it, like the social things that are around it. Of like, you know, I don't know, like we have to go out really late, and then it's just everyone's so chill about it, and I just don't work like that, and I think that stresses me out more. And then if I'm in a club, and I know that I'm like getting a bit, you know, it's getting a bit much for me, then I'm anxious about having to ask them, like, can we go outside? Or like, you know, I'm gonna go outside and then are they mad at me for going outside? Or, do they think I'm being off? Do they think I'm being weird? Do they think that I'm being boring? Because I'd hate that. Because as I've said, that's like the one thing that I would hate to feel like. And this is like a huge thing of why I really tried to push myself to go clubbing, which I find that I do a lot. I really push myself into um uncomfortable situations for me because I can be really scared to speak up sometimes because I think I hold a lot of shame around being neurodivergent, um, mainly because I'm um, higher functioning, of course, because there's so many ends of the spectrum where, of course, there's a lot of say people with autism that are really I don't really know how to describe it very well, but not high functioning. So maybe they'd be nonverbal, or it would seem a lot more obvious to people or to neurotypicals who can just see it and be like, okay, that's that. But when you're more high functioning and you can kind of just get on with stuff, people expect you to get on with everything, but they don't realize that, everyday life is like a struggle for me. Like waking up in the morning, I wake up with an impending sense of doom every morning. Like I haven't even opened my eyes yet, and there's an impending sense of doom. So there's the anxiety from the ADHD. So that's already coming out. I then run through everything that's like happened the day before, everything that's happened the week before, everything that's going on in my life at the moment, everything I'm going to do today in like a millisecond. And then I'm like gut wrenchingly anxious for the rest of the day. Um, Even like everything, okay? It affects everything. So for the things that would take a lot more, like clubbing or, parties or big events, that is something that we're kind of just expected to get on with when it's so much harder than we make it seem because, we're so good at mask. Anyone who doesn't know what masking is, okay, I realize I've just not really mentioned that. Masking is finding a way to present yourself as neurotypical. Um, so like similar to everyone else rather than, being yourself. Um, and there've been times where I've like spoken to people in it feels like I have different voices. So I this right now is definitely kind of a masculine voice because it's more like flowy, but there's been a lot of times where I've spoke in my kind of what my voice would be if I wasn't masking, and it's a lot more robotic, and people, because I'm friends with like funny people, so they would do the same voice back, you know what I mean, and they'd be like, it's hard to describe. It's kind of like, okay, yes, let's go do that, just that it's hard to just describe on the spot, but people will just do it back, and it's like it is funny to me, because like it's kind of a way for me to unmask while it just seeming like a joke, and then it's so much more relaxing to kind of speak like that and have those kind of conversations. So it's, I mean, any way I can do it is great. So even if people think that I'm just joking, maybe better because that kind of holds the mask even more. So, but yeah, there's a million ways people mask. Um, it can be just doing things or acting a certain way or wearing certain clothes. You like dressing up and everything. That's forms of masking. So, growing up, I've probably done all the forms of masking, especially makeup. I got really into makeup in probably like year 9, year 10. Like I was doing different kinds of makeup and you know going into different genres of makeup and different styles to try to fit in anywhere I could, which that's an obvious form of masking. Just to present yourself like everyone else. Um, and I know I've said this before and everything, but like when I go out and like look a certain way, I feel like I can be myself more. So like when I'm going on like a night out and I know that I look great, I know that I look great, and like I feel comfortable with how I look and know that it's like better than usual, I can be myself more. It comes out more because people have a better reaction to it, I guess. People, you know, it has seemed in life like the better you look, the more personality quirks you can get away with. Um, which of course isn't a good thing. It's not realistically, but it's coping. So I have been really focused on being in some sort of like constant glow up, which even though I feel like I've let go of that now, like maybe I haven't. I just went to say it and I was like, that's such a lie. Um, yeah, I do think I want to be constantly in a glow up type of thing because it just seems that the more and more um I glow up from what I was, because I went from being very unattractive to now I would say like stereotypically attractive. Like, I don't know, people get weird when I say that, or when anyone, especially any woman, says that when like they find themselves attractive. But I hope this is a safe space anyway. This is a safe space. I can say that. So yeah, so I went from being very unattractive to, I would say, attractive, and um the reaction from just people has been so different. Like, um I'll use roadmen for an example, because in high school, especially towards the start, roadmen were just like, I was in a friend group with popular girls who would like go out and like date these guys, and like they would be involved with them, and I was kind of just like to the side, because they, I don't know, it didn't feel like I was even a person. It just felt like I was like a thing, or because I didn't feel like I was fitting in with the girls because of like the way that I am, and then I didn't at all feel like I was even existing to the boys, um, which was really dehumanizing and hurtful. But I don't think it was an intentional thing, and I mean, they were mean, of course, like all the high school kids are, but I don't think it was ever like they tried to single me out. The boys anyway. I know the girls did, because girls are more calculated, I guess, and can kind of prey on someone's weaknesses a bit more. But yeah, the guys didn't. They just didn't, like, they barely acknowledged me, and then when they did, it would just be like saying a couple mean things. Um, so, but that was when I was like unattractive and awkward. So then when I kind of, and then along with all the other weird, personality quirks from being neurodivergent and just the way that I am in general, and then growing up, as I got, it's kind of like when I left high school, basically, when I got like more attractive and um maybe a little bit less awkward, I think. I'm still pretty awkward in like many social situations, but just kind of gaining some confidence, I suppose. That has, it's been like a shift. Like, now the same boys that would barely even acknowledge me, and if they would, it would just be like saying a mean thing, or like taking the mick out of me, or like, I don't know, just some form of weird bullying tactics. Um, they would now be interested, and it would be like I'm like on the table now, whereas before I couldn't even get like a seat. It's like I wasn't even allowed to sit down and eat the meal, and then like I am the meal, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell? It's gone from being dehumanizing to dehumanizing in another way. Like, it's insane. It's so weird the way you get treated depending on how you look. Um, I'm kind of shifting from the neurodivergent topic to having a glow up and people treating you differently, because it is so annoying thinking back and being like, I've always been the same person who I am. Maybe I got a little bit more confident, but I've always been who I am. I've always had the same heart. I've always, had the same morals. And yet I was treated so differently, and um, poked and prodded and bullied and mimicked. And now I can just do what I want. Like, that is so unfair. Like, I again have so much sympathy for my past self, because like it it baffles me, and there were people who, I was going to say, there were people who stuck by me, but then I tried to think of them, and they actually ended up betraying me as well. So I was going to say my childhood best friend, because like she was, no, I'll still say her. She was, um we were best friends in primary school, and we were both really weird together. Like, nobody else really liked us or got us, I think. Not many people. I mean, there were a few like girls and stuff who would, sometimes, you know let their hair down a bit and let themselves be a bit weird. I guess I'm not trying to. I feel like I sound so like I was so weird and quirky, but like you know, but yeah, there was some that would and it was never really that um much of a thing in primary school. I think when I got to high school, I started getting taking the mick out of more, but in primary school, it was just like, oh, they're just kind of weird, like they're just being them. It wasn't like a thing. Um, there were obviously a couple times where but whatever. So me and her were just like two peas in a pod. So that was really nice. It's an incredible feeling to find someone who is on the same level as you, and you can stick by each other like that. And of course, as I've said, she did what she did in high school and everything, but as I've also said, she was going through a lot. And I think people use pain very differently, and I'm not trying to excuse what she did, but people cope with their pain very differently. I coped with it by um sort of being able to recognize it more, because I'd been in therapy for I think like 2 or 3 years at that point. So I was like able to recognize it more and understand my emotions more. But for somebody who hadn't had that um luxury of going to therapy and understand their own emotions, I guess it can be confusing for a lot of people. So she definitely dealt with her pain in a different way, which was by taking it out on me. And but yeah, um it's kind of like two sides of the same coin. Like we both went through similar experiences, but then we just kind of reacted to it in different ways. So I was, because of therapy, and I'm not trying to say like, I'm moral, I don't know, Mother Teresa or something, but I was like trying to better myself and work on myself and become better. And she kind of fell into the sinkholes. I don't know how to describe it, but she went kind of the opposite route of like, fuck everything, like whatever. Just destroying relationships and friendships. And um yeah, because it's like I don't even think she wanted to do the things that she did. I think she just you know knew that it would sabotage things. And I think that's what, I don't know, people accept what they think they deserve. So maybe that's what she was kind of doing. Like she thought she I don't know. Again, this is me trying to understand situations that I should just move on from. um but yeah, so it was nice to have her while I did. And yeah, I think the female friendships in my life have been so much more meaningful than any relationship. um because I think back and it's like that's the thing that I think about the most, like the female friendships, and um what I've got from them, and what, like the things that we've done together, and whatever things like that. But it's so much more meaningful to me than any relationship I've been in. And um yeah, I just find that really heartwarming. And yeah. um yeah, but I think the whole glow up and getting treated differently thing is so weird. And confidence plays a huge part in it, because I think before I even started to get more attractive, I just got more confident, um mainly after just leaving high school. And that can be just a huge thing, like if you're just confident or even pretending to be confident, because as I've said, confidence can never really be fake. If you're faking having confidence, then you have confidence. So whatever you choose to call it, that can be just such a huge thing, and impacts your life and your relationships in so many ways. um I would highly recommend it to anyone. If you already think you are confident, be more. Be as confident as you possibly can, because it brings you so much in life. And like it can unlock so many doors. I could speak about it forever. I just love it. I love people becoming more and more confident. And it's been so awesome to see other girls in high school who were shy or taking the mick out of as well. And now I'm seeing them on social media. Of course, we know social media is fake and everything. Like we don't really know what's going on, but it is so amazing to watch them flourish and hope that it's how they are really doing. Um, it's incredible, and I just find that really beautiful, and I'm really happy for them. So yeah, I just think it's great. Um, yeah, boys in high school were weird. That was really weird. It was weird being the friend in a friend group who was just kind of there, rather than like involved in everything. I'm like, this girl was dating this guy, and then this was all happening. And then, especially when I'll speak a bit about like romantic stuff, um, I would get called frigid in year 7 and year 8 for not like doing much and not like kissing. I guess I don't know. It never really tickled my fancy. Wasn't really a bit of me. I didn't really. I was scared, because I was in year 7 and year 8 and I was getting called frigid. What the hell? Um, and there was this one. Oh my god, there was this one time that I was being called frigid like all day. Everyone was like, "Go hug," because it was like my boyfriend at the time. It barely even. Um, and they were like, "You being so frigid, like just go run up to him, go run up to him, like give him a hug." And I took it literally. I didn't know they meant like just walk over and say, "Hey, hug," whatever. So I like stood at the edge of the football pitch and he's there playing football. And he like catches my eye and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and I like run over and hug him. Like, but it's just like it's like almost an attack rather than a hug. It's just like bam, gone. Like what the hell? What the actual hell was I thinking? Oh my god. And all my friends were just there like pissing themselves, and I was like, what did it right, like what? Baby, no, baby, there's no plane. Oh god. um Unfortunate. I did my best, and that was kind of the best I had. But then everyone else was like tonguing in the cinema, and I was getting called frigid. And then when I actually did um do stuff, I don't want to say too much because I don't know how many who's watching this or how many, I don't know. But when I actually did do stuff, then I was getting called like a slag, and um that I did it too early. And it's like, okay, well, what do you want from me? Like, do you want me to be frigid or not? Like, what's it was always so confusing. And you know, one thing, this is so important actually. One thing I realized in life is that people are going to say something no matter what you do, who you are, what you look like, whatever. People will find something to say. Okay? You can be on your best behavior, you can look your best, you can be the standard, you can be as perfect as humanly possible. People will always find something to say. I call it bathroom talk. There will always be bathroom talk. There will always be people gossiping. They will find something to critique. So the best advice I can give is do not listen. And that is way easier said than done, but do not listen to a word people say when it's negative, of course. But like, well, obviously sometimes listen because maybe they're trying to help you. But in this context, if you can tell that it's just them like trying to bring you down, do not listen, because there will always be something, no matter what you do, you know? Because one week it's like, oh, hair looks weird like that. She could cut it. And then you cut your hair. Oh, your hair's too short. You should do this. Something, you know, there will always be something. As long as you become comfortable within yourself, the chatter kind of dies down, because you still hear it, but it doesn't feel as loud to you anymore. Whereas I know in high school, I think back and it feels like I was constantly under attack. When I look at the real situations, it's like it wasn't like constant. It was just, maybe little comments every couple of days. So, it wasn't like an everyday, all the time, full on attack. But because of my headspace at the time, the chatter just feels so much more. So if you become comfortable in yourself and you can have that confidence, it will just die down because you're not going to hear it anymore. That's kind of the best I've got, because It's so annoying. Like, say, pick any celebrity that you think is like the standard. Like, that is what, you want to be. This is everything to you. Pick that celebrity and go look in one of their comment sections right now, or look on any kind of news thing. There'll be something trying to drag them down. Like, and the whole like body standards and everything, it's always she's too skinny, she's too curvy, she's too thick, she's too bulky, too fat, too thin. It's like, oh my god, there will never be a balance. So as long as with body image, I would say as long as you're healthy, you're fine. If you're healthy and happy, you're fine. That is all you need to worry about. And bodies are so unimportant in terms of aesthetics. It is literally just a vessel. Like, you right now, you are your brain. You are not your body. You are your brain. We are based. It's like, I picture it as like a brain in like a car, and like the body is like the car, but like the car is just, moving it around and stuff and taking it and whatever. But we are just brains. So if you really want to take the mick out of me, you can tell me that my brain is too smooth or something. I'm like, oh god, it's not pink enough. Oh god, you really got me there. So, you know, just vessels, literally just vessels. And who cares? There'll always be something for someone to say, and everybody wants what someone else has. So give up. Give up trying to reach perfection, because you're not going to reach perfection. It's not going to happen. Perfection is a made up concept. Actually, I had a friend the other day say something that I found really interesting. If I can think of it, that'd be amazing. Perfection is not perfection is not utopia. It's oh no, utopia isn't perfection, it's balance. And I found that so interesting because like I've like thought similar things, but I've never heard it put so well. I was like, yeah, that is so true, because you will never say like heaven and hell. Like, if anyone's watched The Good Place, I don't know, but it shows about how heaven would be like awful in the long term, because like bliss forever is no longer bliss. Like, it's like some form of weird torture, and then obviously hell is just torture. So, but so heaven, or the good, I'm going to call it the good place because obviously I'm not religious, and that's seems to be a religious term, I think. But I think anyway, is it right? Surely, because it's like the Bible, heaven and hell, right? I think. Anyway, the good place. Up there, I think, we don't know. It would have to be balanced for it to be good. So, and you can apply that to everything in life, because if things aren't balanced, they're just gonna feel like either permanent bliss, which is horrific and awful, and if you've watched the show, you'll understand, or permanent torture. So there needs to be an in between. Utopia is about balance. So we need that in every aspect of life. Like, you hear it in dieting. Like, okay, it's if you want an actual healthy diet, it's not about, giving yourself a million good foods all the time. It's about balance. Like, have the good foods and have the bad foods. Whatever the people, you know what people call them, the bad foods. I think that's a really wrong term. They're just food. You know, maybe there are foods that are less healthy for you, but they're still food. So okay, I'll reword it. Sorry, wasn't very nice of me, but um, have the healthier foods and the unhealthier foods. So that's balance. And then same thing with just everyday life. Like, have days where you're really busy, and then have days where you're not really busy, and you can just chill. Have balance, or else something will go wrong. So yeah, I think balance is a really beautiful thing. And just before I end, going back quickly to the whole glow up thing, I have a tattoo idea that I wanted to share. I don't know when I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna get it soon. I know. I just keep putting off because I can't find a good placement for it because it's not like the most aesthetically pleasing, which is ironic when I describe it. But anyway, so I wanted to get, so people get butterfly tattoos when they like, God, what is it for again? It's like something to do with some growth because like the butterfly comes out of the cocoon, so it's some sort of growth, um, which is great. I love that. I wanted to get a cocoon tattoo. Is that how you say it? Like cocoon? I don't know. I don't say that word a lot. I don't really hear that word a lot. People don't really, I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to get a tattoo of that. I'm gonna say that now because I don't know. That because of just like, you know, holding space for my past self, I guess, rather than because like I am the growth version. Like I don't need the tattoo of like something that I feel like I am. Um, that is such a lie. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. That was like the wrong word choice. I don't need a tattoo of. Okay, basically, I just don't want a butterfly tattoo. Let's stop deeping it for a second. Let's just calm down. I just don't want a butterfly tattoo. I wanted a cocoon because I wanted to like memorialize my past self and be like, she's still here with me. I don't want. Should I put it on my leg? No, I don't know. Like she's still here with me. Like that's still me. Because like as I was saying before, like I've always had the same heart. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, Jesus, does it really matter that much? It sucks that it does and how differently I've been treated. But anyway, yeah, always had the same heart, and yeah. So poor little me, basically. No, okay. I've had a good life. I don't want to. I keep playing it off like it's been a million things, but it's only because I deep everything. Like I'm just being deep about things. So I've had a good life, really, and I'm enjoying it, especially at the moment. I'm feeling really positive at the moment. So good stuff. I'll wrap up here and really hope that it's been recording and not in slow mo as well because I've noticed. So the other day I went into cinematic mode by accident on iPhone camera. Didn't know what it was, but it worked great. And it was like the focus was like on my face and not on the background. It was like blurring the background. Sick, I know. So I keep trying to put it on that mode and then it just keeps on switching to slow mo and it's like can we just not? Can we just let me have like I'm not technical enough for this. It's really annoying me. And I'm trying with this whole microphone stuff. Like, I've had to charge the receptor for the microphone and then like charge the actual microphone. And it's like there's too much stuff that needs charging now. There's just too much going on. It's a lot. Okay. Luckily, I don't have to charge the ring light and the tripod thing because that's on like a USB thing. Thank God. That'd be like my final straw. Can't do it. Okay. I think I'm gonna play Roblox today. Feel like it. Okay. Bye.